this last night, went, are you kidding me? In the interviews and. So that physical, and then the. All right, thank you, and thank you for being here tonight. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the meeting held December 22nd
So moved.
and January 4th?
So moved. Second.
Do we have any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Persons wishing to address the school board. Shannon? Want to come up and give us your name and address? And you have 5 minutes.
Yes, I won't take 5. My name is Shannon Graber. I live at 1720 East Edgewood Road.
No,
Sorry. Was I supposed to say something else?
you're good.
Okay. I just wanted to thank you. I see your agenda item is the high school course selection. And so this is year 9 that I've been here with you with the program. So next year will be 10 years. And very excited about the program, and thank you for your commitment all the way. And so now we're in our last leg, and really looking forward to that. And we've had some nice discussions with the district, and it's looking like we're very satisfied, and hopefully it'll go well. And just that assessment piece, I'm real excited to see what can be happening with that. I'd love for us to think about how do our going into 9th grade students, immersion students, look compared to maybe other 9th grade immersion students, because we really can't compare our 9th graders with anybody else in the district. No one else has done that immersion language study. So I don't know if that could be something that we could think of as far as the assessment piece. So I just wanted to add that I know there's an assessment piece in there, and I didn't know if we were going to be able to look at other districts or how you do that with other programs. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have an approval of the agenda, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Good news report.
Good evening. As you are all very well aware, a growing number of Sioux Falls students are living in poverty these days, but this fact is not lost on those students' peers. Feeding South Dakota is an agency and organization that fills the gaps for many of our families, providing them food when the cupboards are bare. Carrie DeGraff is from Feeding South Dakota, and she's joining us this evening to talk about the impact that student food drives make on Feeding South Dakota's mission. So I'll invite Carrie forward.
Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today. Feeding South Dakota is extremely blessed to be able to partner with the Sioux Falls School District, so thank you so much for that partnership. For nearly 20 years, we have benefited from the students and the staff in terms of supporting our efforts to feed those who are hungry. And that's happened through the Student Hunger Drive, which started just through the local middle schools here in the district and has now grown. They now involve some of the feeder elementary schools. They've gotten smart. It's kind of a competition. And actually this year we had Lincoln High School participate and give back to our organization. It makes a significant difference. Just to give you some numbers, this year thus far, our schools have helped raise over $11,000 and have collected more than 5,200 pounds of food. And that doesn't include all of the schools, because some will still be coming in. And so in total, if I give you an annual look, this last year, the schools have raised about $21,000. And to look at the impact that that makes on our organization, it helps to support our local food pantry here. And with that amount of money, we are able to provide about 100,000 meals, and that serves about 1,500 families. And so that's about the number of families we serve in a month. So if you think about what these students and their families and the staff are doing, they're helping to support the families at our food pantry for approximately a month out of the year. That's a really big deal. And I pulled some numbers to kind of look at the history of giving, and we have many schools that not only support our food pantry, but they also support the backpack program. And so all of our schools do great work, and some of them have been around longer, so they have a little bit of a benefit. But Whittier Middle School has raised over $90,000 in giving since they've been operating their fund drive. Memorial Middle School, more than $74,000, and Patrick Henry, more than $78,000. Those are big dollar amounts. And if I look only at the Student Hunger Drive, staff and students have helped to contribute in those nearly 20 years, $215,000, which surpasses more than 1 million meals being provided to local families in this community. So we just would like the opportunity to give a special thank you to all of the students, of course their families who supported the efforts, and the staff who really helped to coordinate this effort. I can tell you that I had the opportunity to participate in some media events for this and watch some 7th graders be interviewed about, the importance of giving back and how they love to be able to do that. And so I also want to thank the leadership for supporting the opportunities for youth to learn about making a difference and giving back to the community, because it makes a difference for us and, of course, more importantly, for the children and families that we serve. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any conflicts of interest that need to be, any conflicts of interest that need to be disclosed? No? All right, may I have an approval of the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. A motion to approve supplemental consent agenda A.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That's, motion passes with one abstention from Board Member Ryder. We have a motion to approve supplement consent agenda B.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. That passes with one abstention from Board Member Parker. Moving to the reports of the superintendent.
All right, thank you. Well, our first report tonight will be one that was referenced already by Mrs. Graber, and that is the high school Spanish immersion report as we look at transitioning the Spanish immersion program from the elementary through the middle school and now next year into the high school. That's taken a great deal of planning, and there's still a great deal of planning yet to come. And with that information, I'll turn it over to our Director of Curriculum and Instruction, Ann Smith.
Thank you. Before I start, I want to make a couple of quick corrections in the first paragraph of the explanation on this report. The first kindergarten class started in the fall of 2008, and then there are currently 16 eighth grade students enrolled in the Spanish immersion program at Edison. And the goal of our Spanish immersion program is to develop students who are able to fluently speak, read, and write in Spanish and English, but also students who understand the diversity of Spanish-speaking cultures and respect and appreciate the differences among people. In the fall of 2017, our Spanish immersion program will be continued into the 9th grade. As we looked at what courses those students will take, our high school Spanish immersion program will consist of one course each year of their high school career. And as we thought about those courses, we thought about we need to be sure that we have a bilingual teacher who meets state certification requirements for the course that needs to be taught. We need to be sure that there will be quality resources available in Spanish that align with the content standards of the course to be taught. We have to balance graduation requirements with student interests and opportunities to enroll in elective courses. We know that that continues to be a challenge at our high schools for a lot of our kids to be able to, they can do everything that they're interested in doing, which often is not possible. We also want to, as much as possible, provide an incentive to students to continue with the Spanish immersion program through 12th grade. We don't want all of those options that they have when they get to high school to distract them from their goal of completing the Spanish immersion program all the way through 12th grade. In light of those considerations, the courses that we have chosen to comprise the high school Spanish immersion program will be the first year, their 9th grade year, Spanish immersion language, literature, and culture. This course meets the world language credit. It would be open to 9th grade Spanish immersion students or native Spanish speakers with teacher approval. Then the 10th grade year, students would take Spanish immersion world geography. This meets the graduation requirement of a half credit in social studies. Then they would take another social studies credit the second semester of their 10th grade year, Spanish immersion global issues. Then the 11th grade year would be an AP course, Spanish immersion AP Spanish language and culture. This course would only be open to Spanish immersion students. So we do teach AP Spanish right now. This AP course would be different in that it would just be the Spanish immersion students because we know that their verbal skills are different than the kids in a typical Spanish immersion AP, a typical AP Spanish class. And then their senior year, 12th grade year, would be a capstone course, Spanish immersion people and cultures capstone. It would be open to 12th grade Spanish immersion students or native Spanish speakers with teacher approval. And we are working with area universities to get dual credit to be awarded for this particular course. Because it would be a full year course, it has the potential then of students earning 6 college credits by the time they've completed it, because a college course is typically 3 courses per semester. So by the time students have completed all 4 years of the high school Spanish immersion program, they would have earned 2 of the 16 required or selective credits. and then they would have 2 credits of elective courses, leaving them with at least 4 credits for other elective courses of interest. That is if they just graduate with 22 credits, which is the minimum requirements. Most of our high school students graduate with 24 credits, which means that probably these Spanish immersion students would have 6 credits for other elective courses. In addition to that, they would have AP credit for their junior class, and once dual credit is secured, they could have earned 2 semesters of college credit. The Spanish immersion courses will be offered at Lincoln High School. There is a teacher there who's bilingual in Spanish and meets the state requirements for teaching high school Spanish and social studies. This teacher is currently working to develop the curriculum for the 9th grade Spanish language, literature, and culture class, and as we work through our social studies curriculum review, which is currently beginning this year, next year it will be a full-blown working on developing the courses. That teacher will be available and will work right alongside of the other social studies teachers to develop that world geography and global issues course alongside them, so we're sure that it meets the same content standards, just delivered in Spanish. As we looked at what courses to select, we met with teachers, principals, curriculum coordinators, and parents to review the proposed courses. Met with the Spanish immersion parents to share the plan on December 1st. And this week we'll begin focus group meetings with the families of 8th grade parents. We'll continue those focus groups in January and February because we're interested in getting the feedback from that inaugural group of parents. What's been their experience? How can we improve our transitions from elementary to middle and from middle to high? So that's the current plan for our high school Spanish immersion. I would ask that you would acknowledge the update on the high school Spanish immersion program.
Any questions?
I have a couple questions. We had talked earlier as part of the parent group and the presentation about speech, and I don't see speech listed anywhere, and I know that's a tentative, but I'm just wondering if there's any additional information on that.
We decided that looking at the reality of being able to get a teacher who was bilingual and could meet the state certification requirements to teach speech, it just was not going to happen. It's, again, those speech requirements, to be certified to teach speech, it isn't just needing to know speech. You have to also be able to demonstrate proficiency in debate and theater and all of those areas. So recognizing that we have a teacher who's certified to teach social studies, we did have these options. We just decided that we needed to focus, make a plan and focus on what we knew we had someone with certification to do.
Okay. And then I know there was talk at one point too about a site visit. Are there any plans for going up and visiting, like in the cities, their high school, just to see if there's anything that we can learn from them as we start this next transition?
And yes, we did investigate that. We were had a date planned, everything was all arranged. Tracy Veek called and visited with the principals there, got more information about the program, and actually found out that our program is more fully developed than theirs is. And so we decided that that's not the site we would want to visit. So if we're going to do a site visit, we need to identify another program that's that is of benefit to us to visit.
Okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none, may I please have a motion to acknowledge the update on the high school Spanish immersion program?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion?
Exciting to see it progress, further past middle school, and sounds like we've got some good options available for the kids. Thank you.
And Shannon, thank you for your comments earlier. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Our next report will come from Deanne Conrad regarding community relations outreach.
Thank you, Dr. Maher. As you know, our priority area 4 in our strategic plan is community engagement, with a priority statement of Sioux Falls School District will equip staff with knowledge and tools necessary to effectively engage with families, partners, and the community to foster shared responsibility for student success. Of course, two-way communication is the most beneficial for all of us. We have a variety of opportunities, as you heard Ann Smith talking about some focus groups that she's holding on the particular topic of high school Spanish immersion. We have a couple of dates coming up where there will be community input sessions on the calendar. There are also 6 scheduled focus groups for this spring for Dr. Maher and to discuss with our community some of the other issues that they think are prevalent. So of course, we always want to encourage that two-way communication, and we appreciate Shannon coming to this forum here and providing feedback and information that's always available to any interested citizen. Today we're talking, however, about the ways in which community relations and its department reaches out into the community. And I want to point out a few things in hardcover documents. This is the welcome packet that we provide realtors in our community and also our large employers, Sanford, Avera. They call often for these printed pieces so that they can put them in the hands of their recruits and share with them the good news about the Sioux Falls Public Schools. We also meet one-on-one with any interested families who are interested in and have questions about the Sioux Falls Public Schools. So we do that on a very regular basis. Of course, one of the prominent pieces is our Ignite magazine, which comes out in August of every year as we welcome folks back to the school district. Also, I couldn't help but share with you, this is the brand new community education catalog. Over 328 courses in here for the spring for folks in our community to engage with our schools and in a passion that they might have and further that, whether that's for their personal benefit or professional benefit as well. So there are 6 methods that we use daily to reach our community, 6 main methods. The first, Parent Link, is our app and our direct parent contact where we can send messages via phone, text, or email. K-Learn TV has been around since the early 70s and has made quite a metamorphosis over time. We are on Midco channels, cable channels 20 and 595. Of course, our district website, sf.k12.sd.us. The local media partners with us to share information about the public schools. We've created several public service announcement campaigns, and also, who can forget about social media? Currently, we're using Flickr, the blog, the Cube, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. So, here are some specifics regarding each of these methods of communication. During the year of 2016, district schools send out over 5,000 messages using Parent Links. So that is a tool that we are using on a daily basis and sometimes multiple messages. We appreciate the hard work. These are our leaders in terms of messages sent out by schools. Washington High School, Edison, and Harvey Dunn are doing fantastic jobs spreading news through the Parent Link system. Our app, we started this in July of 2013. We've had 10,580 downloads since that time. And this past year, we had 1,464 during the calendar year. So we are grateful that that tool exists. And many times when we post things on the website, it is set up as such where it shows up on the app as well. Of course, K-Learn TV. We strive to provide original programming each year and do so with concerts, performances, varsity sports, classroom projects, interviews. We do some national programming that we are able to get through our connections with national organizations. We provide calendar and other important information. Also, we highlight the good work of our staff and students. So we are grateful for that medium, and Mid-Continent Communications allows us to exist as an education access channel. So who's watching? For a long time we had no idea, but thankfully technology is affording us that information today. We In the month of November, just 1 month, we had 4,718 unique households watching K-Learn TV for an average of 28 minutes per view. So think of 5,000, a community of 5,000, and they're watching 28 minutes per view. We believe that probably had something to do with some sporting events that we had on during that time. Some exciting things happening in our high schools, and so we're grateful to see that. Last year we had 5,500 who were watching during that same period, but they were only watching for 22 minutes. So we believe we're building an audience here, and they're staying with us, recognizing that there is good news that they can catch on the Sioux Falls School District channel. And of course, in the world of TiVo and other sorts of recording devices, these numbers that are here only represent the live views going on, not anything that's recorded over time. We're going to choose to believe there's a bunch of recording going on also. On our website, this again is for the month of November. Unique visitors over 51,000. Last year we had 37,000 views during the same period. Number of visits, again, you can see a substantial growth over last year. Most popular pages, of course, the homepage, that's where you show up at. And then, of course, the lunch menus. That always is the top performer on a website, as it is the top performer on the app as well. And then district calendar information, employment information, and then high school. And the average duration of a visit is 244 seconds. Last year it was just a few seconds longer. Local media, we do track our involvement with local media and how often we're able to respond to their requests. During the 6-month time period, or 5 months, if you will, July 1, December 1, we had 445 media requests. Last year, during that time frame, there were 310 requests, and in 2014, 258. So you can see that the numbers continue to rise. We work hard to respond to the needs of our local media who is interested in telling a story and helping them set up interviews and such so that it can be done with their deadline in mind, and we can meet those deadlines for them. That averages 20 stories per week. Last year we had an average of 13 stories per week. Of course, because we're in Sioux Falls and that's where the local media hub is, we have a great opportunity to respond to any needs that they have. And of course, there was no school in June and July. So. And then we have partners in our radio community who are broadcasting our football games and other sporting events, and so those are not calculated in here as those events are open to the public and open to our media as well. So we just wondered about comparison. How do we compare? And so we reached out to our friends at Avera Health. They have about 21 media stories per week, yet they have facilities in 5 states. They do telemedicine nationwide, 4 media relations positions. And so we feel like we're playing the game, and we're very competitive in reaching out and getting our story told. Other school districts, we also reached out into an organization I belong to in Minnesota, but there are lots of different factors, you know, in terms of their metro city schools and their out-state schools, they call them, and that type of thing. So we couldn't really get any conclusive data from them. But something we're very proud of is our public service announcements and the campaigns that have been going on. This year our focus, of course, is on attendance. Midco, we reached out to all organizations, and Midco provided 531 public service announcements at no cost. That cost would have been $6,372. We just heard from KTTW. They committed and aired 539 showings. We did not get a monetary value from them. However, their commitment does not end. Starting today through March 26th, they will continue to air our attendance PSAs. KSFY, Kello, KDLT, and local radio stations also assisted with news stories and airing public service announcements where they could. Just recently, we were notified by Kelloland TV that we were a recipient of their Tradition of Caring Award campaign. They create their own public service announcements on a topic that a local nonprofit organization applies to have them tell. And it is $17,000 worth of advertising for their public service announcements through the Tradition of Caring. So we are meeting next week with them to develop that public service announcement, and they will be airing that during the spring of the year. So we are very grateful for that. In fact, they asked us to apply, knowing that it is a topic in our strategic plan and one of great importance not only to the schools but to the broader business community as well, because attendance now indicates attendance later in life in the workforce. So we thank them for partnering with us on that. And we continue our campaign that we did last year about the safety on school buses. Social media is just a big beast, but we do our part in sharing the story of the Sioux Falls School District there. There have been 33 albums created in the last year on Flickr. Each of those albums has hundreds of photos from schools and events, and this we have found has really been a great opportunity for other organizations, the South Dakota Department of Education, Chamber of Commerce, who want a video or a photo of things happening in a school. We can just send them right to the Flickr page and give them permission to use one of our photos from there. So the most popular album, Susan B. Anthony, of course we opened that, or I'm sorry, is it Susan? It is Susan B. Anthony. Sorry, I was thinking Sonia Sotomayor, but it's Susan B. Anthony. So something we had shot there and featured there, 740 views on that one. And then many of our schools have capitalized on the wonderful photography of Ben Schumacher and have asked to use those photos for prints and canvases to decorate their buildings as well. Our blog is integrated into the website. It's a great place for us to feature student essays and other items that aren't necessarily news, but still need a place of their own. In 2016, during the month of November, we had nearly 6,300 views. That's almost double what we had from our old site. And views during the whole year through December 12th were 55,000 views of our blog. So pretty good numbers there. Dr. Maher had a little flag in his hat when he noticed that the superintendent's budget message was one of the top blogs. We'll just let him revel in that.
People trying to sleep at night, I think.
Yeah, perhaps. But again, you can see another one of the top blogs was on the attendance tips for parents. So we're trying to share that information in a variety of formats in places where people might be seeking their information. The Cube is the app that we use to broadcast our school events. Football, of course, is a real pull for that, and during one of our games with Rapid City, we had over 4,000 views. So it's a great opportunity to get our high school students more visibility in terms of their events, whether that be athletic or fine arts. YouTube, we posted 456 videos. Last year, there were 254. Our views are substantially higher by 100,000. You can see all the numbers there. We are also streaming our board meetings on YouTube now, live and archived, so that they're easier to access for anyone who's interested. There is a Sioux Falls School District channel on YouTube. Facebook, 4,000 likes, 9,531 post reaches during the week that this presentation was created. This is, of course, an easy way for us to communicate back and forth with our public. There's a notation on Facebook, and it claims that we are very responsive. Most of the time, I'll see something come in on Facebook, and I'll get there and I'll realize, oh, Ben's already responded. So, and that's within minutes. So we do try to respond when people have a question or something that needs to be answered in a timely manner. We're doing that throughout the day. Twitter, 4,700 followers. We've done 3,797 tweets, and also have regular mentions with local media and other local entities as well. And so really the focus, because they're the Twitter users perhaps, is anything with high school students generally gets the highest retweets. So we continue to serve that population interested in Twitter as well. And Instagram and Snapchat, those are our new babies that we are embracing. And who knows what tomorrow will bring. There's probably something else on the horizon, and when there is, and if there is, we will do our best to be responsive and to be in the areas where our community stakeholders are. So with that, we believe we have a very diversified approach to reaching out to our community. We continue to invite that two-way communication and feedback and input as well. But we ask you to acknowledge our communication efforts with this presentation this evening.
Any questions for Deanne?
I was gonna look quick and see if there's a community ed class on how to use Instagram or Snapchat.
You know, we have Facebook and
iPads.
iPads. I'm
Maybe
not
you
sure
should
about
find-
Instagram or Snapchat.
You
but-
should find an expert, because I would sign up.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not there yet either, but that gives us an opportunity to grow, right?
Yes.
Always learning.
Dr. Marhurt's pretty good at Snapchat, from my
Yes.
understanding.
Probably have one or two, right? I do.
Right.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
He receives a lot of information, I think, via Snapchat, so.
You know, one of the things I would say, it's interesting as we've gone through the strategic plan and trying to figure out, are we communicating effectively with our public? And I think we'll continue to wrestle with that question over and over again. But one of the things that I noticed when Deanne and her team put this report together was the use of YouTube and the use of Facebook and the ability to get information out. And you think about it from a user perspective, you get it on your time. You middle of the night, first thing in the morning, whenever's convenient for you, you get that information. And I think back to when I started as an administrator, and really our ways of getting information to our public was PTA meetings and newsletters, and that was about it. And now we have such a wide open world, and what will come from Instagram, what will come from Snapchat. But the thing that we have that I really like is our ability to look at year-over-year statistics in how many things are we putting out there and how many clicks are we getting on those things. And I think maybe that tells our story of how we're communicating, and I really appreciate the information. It was an eye-opener for me, particularly the last couple of pages where we talked about YouTube, we talked about Facebook, and then we talked about Snapchat and Instagram as well.
Awesome. Anything else? May I have a motion to acknowledge the district's communication efforts with both internal and external stakeholders?
So move. Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thanks, Deanne. All right, we had reviewed 7 policies last Tuesday, would have been the 3rd. In an effort to keep the school board policies updated, members of the administration and the policy review committee will continually review policies and regulations that need to be added, deleted, revised, or in some cases to update the language. These policies that we're going to go over right now have been reviewed by the administration and the policy review committee, and given the minimal revisions to the policies, a second reading are not necessary. So I'm going to read them off and ask for an approval. CGD, CGDR, state and federal programs, we just updated the language to match federal regulations. GBG, staff wellness, no changes. GBGB, employees' personal property, no changes. IJK, selection of library and supplemental instructional resources and materials. We updated language to current practice. IJNC, INJCR, School Library Resources Center, no changes. JLC, JLCR, Student Health Services, update language to meet current needs. And JLCAA, JLCAAR, Physician Prescribed Services, we updated the language to current practice. May I please have a motion to approve the review revision of these policies and their regulations?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I have that we need to set the 2017 school board election date.
Just a brief background on that. You have in your board materials a resolution which designates June 6th, 2017 as Election Day. That's the first Tuesday following the last day of school. As you know, the board will have one vacancy next year when the term of Doug Morrison expires in July. Obviously, to fill that vacancy, we must hold an election. The state allows local governments to use electronic poll books and vote centers, and we plan to do that again for our 27, I think it was 6 years ago, Doug, that we did it for the first time when you were elected back to the board. By using electronic poll books and vote centers, voters registered in the district will be allowed to use any one of 10 locations throughout the district. We are proposing using the 3 mainstream high schools, the middle schools except Patrick Henry, IPC, First Lutheran Church, and First Baptist Church. The reason we're suggesting the first Tuesday following the last day of school is that the schools will be relatively empty. Parking lots will have plenty of room in them, and the election won't interfere with school activities because school won't be going on. Some important dates, if we pick June 6th as Election Day, if you approve the resolution, March 1st would be the first day for nominating petitions. March 28th would be when those are due. Deadline for voter registration would be the 22nd of May, and of course, Election Day on the 6th. It's our recommendation that you approve the resolution designating June 6th as Election Day. Designate the whole school district as one precinct and approve the use of vote centers, electronic poll books, and counting ballots by hand. Stand by for any questions.
There are no other city elections this year?
Nope, the city holds its elections in even-numbered years, so we're on our own this year.
Any questions, discussion?
I feel like turnout is normally low, but it seems like it's even lower when it's not during the school year. But I understand what you're saying about having people be able to access the polls, because I've had issues with that in the past where you go and there's a school event and then I think people drive up and they drive away because it's not worth the hassle of trying to park 3 blocks away to go and vote for one thing. So I think it's maybe close enough to school being done that there will still be people around, or they could absentee vote too, so.
Yep, absentee voting is always an option, and yeah, we're trying to keep it real close there so that, you know, you're not holding it over summer vacation when a lot of people are already on vacations.
All right, anything further? We have a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Anything else for the good of the cause? We have a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We are adjourned.